Yarnivores and Spiderettes, Fiber Spider, back again with another tutorial for you. And today I'm going to show you how to crochet this really interestingly shaped, crescent-shaped shawl called the Wild Wheat Shawl. And I did this using Mondoa yarn by Lion Brand. No, I'm not sponsored. I have to say that, but I really groove on the yarn. What can I say? And this is Genie, the colorway Genie. And this shawl only took me one skein. Yes, and I had this much left over. Now, of course, you can make it however big you want to. I opted to leave off where I did so that on the very edge it would all be the same color. And also, something to keep in mind, let me scooch over here. Something to keep in mind is that the length of it doesn't go very far down your back. However, the length of it from fingertip to fingertip, so to speak, it gets very, 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 very long. That being said, it drapes around in the front quite long, and you can tie it, you can flip it over your shoulders, you could do whatever you want. Now, that being said, you don't want it to get so long that it becomes cumbersome, right? So, fiddle around with, the actual dimensions that you want. We're going to go through it step by step, don't worry. There is a bunch of regular rows and then some increasing, and then you'll get to a point where we're going to do the edging, which is really, really altogether easy, and we're going to go through it step by step. I just wanted to give you an overview before we get started. So, with that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to use Mondoa once again for this tutorial, this time in the colorway of Thunderbird. Oh so pretty and oh so bright. And I'm going to use a size H crochet hook. I find that this size works really well for me with a weight of 3 yarn. I already have a ball all balled up on the side, ready to go. Now, something that you want to keep in mind with this pattern as far as how it works, the first 7 rows is what I'm going to be covering right now, and it's pretty straightforward. Then we have the repeat, which is rows 8 through 14, and you do the repeat as many times as you want to create the height of your shawl. And then after you have gotten the appropriate height that you want from the repeat of 8 through 14, you would end on a row 13, and then you would do the actual edging aspect of it. And this is going to be split up into several videos, I think. Also, I am going to put a link to the pattern in the description box down below. However, keep in mind that the pattern itself, it's done as a schematic, strictly visual, no actual written instructions. Therefore, if you have a problem with the schematic, this tutorial is right up your alley, and I really hope that it helps. Okay, so we shall get started with row 1. All right, row 1. About time, right? All right, so starting with our slip knot, of course. And we're going to start with chaining up of 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then into the first chain, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 1, and 2 more double crochets, all into that first chain. What you can, of course, do is do the other method that I often use, which is, say, 3 or 4 chains, slip stitch into the first chain to create a ring, and then build off of that. So that would be, like, this would be the ring, and then you would actually do 7 chains and then do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets within that ring. I just like using the first chain method personally. So after doing what we have done, going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a treble crochet into that first chain. All right. And that is the end of row 1. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so we'll go on to row 2. All right, row 2. All right, so starting right in, we are going to chain up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we turn the work. And we are going to work into this first stitch here, where it connected. We're going to be doing 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all into this first stitch here. So that's 2 doubles, a chain 1, and 2 doubles. Like so. And then we're going to chain 2. And then in this chain 1 space, we're going to do the same thing, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. There you go. Chain 2. Okay. And then we are going to do another cluster. This time, the easiest way I find to do it is, okay, so we have our stitch here, right? Then skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, going into the third from the top. I find that works really well, especially since we don't have much of a foundation going on here. So skip these first 2 chain stitches and going into the third, this one right here, you see? So we skipped 2, going into that third, and we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Oops. Okay, now for the sake of symmetry, we have a cluster over here and we have a cluster over here, but we need this extra loop on the end. Okay, so to do that, we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to do a treble crochet into that same stitch that we just did. All right, you see? It's all about symmetry. Okay, and of course, what you can do, and I'm going to do relatively soon, is you can cinch this up and sew in your end, and it'll be out of the way. All right, so that is the end of row 2. All right, row 3. Okay, so we're going to start row 3 by chaining up 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the work. And then again into that first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet right into here. So I've got another space at the end there. And then chain 4. And then into this chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. I'm just going to call them clusters from here on in as far as the pattern is concerned, which is basically every time I say cluster, I mean 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. I mean, that's your essential cluster. And we're going to be doing a lot of them. Just like if it was a granny project, it would be, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1. Well, this one is 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all into that chain 1 space. Okay? So then we're going to chain 4, if my yarn will behave. And then into the chain 1 space, we're going to do yet another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, a chain, and 2 doubles. Okay, chain 4. And then into the chain 1 space of this cluster, we're going to do another cluster. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. And we're almost at the end here. So what we're going to need to do now is chain 4. Oops. Okay. And then again, we need to skip 2 of these chains. And we're going to be going as a double. So we're skipping 2 chains. We're going into the third, just like we did before. So 1, 2, and then into the third with a double crochet, like so. You see, like that. And then we're going to chain 2, and then do a treble crochet into that same stitch that we just did. All right. So as you can see already, it's starting to have a curvature. Actually, if I held this the way I presented it at the beginning of the video, it would be like this. So you can see it's already starting to curve, and it's going to become more and more pronounced as we keep going, believe you me. So that is the end of our third row. Okay, and I'll be right back so we can do row number 4. Alrighty, row number 4. Okay, so to begin row 4, pretty much like every row we're going to be doing, it's going to be starting with a chaining of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we turn the work. And we are going to do a cluster from the get-go right into this first stitch. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. All into that stitch. Okay, you see? And then we're going to chain 4. And into the top of this double, we're going to do another double. Like so. Chain 4 again. And then into the chain 1 space of this cluster, we're going to do another cluster, so that's 2 doubles. Chain 1, 2 doubles. Chain 4 again. All right, and we've reached the center. And we're going to do another cluster. So into this chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster of 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. Chain 4. And then into the chain 1 space of the next cluster, do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. Chain 4. Into the top of this double, we're going to do another double. Okay. Chain 4. Okay. Then, again into the third chain. So that's 1, 2, and 3 right here. Another way that you could do it is if you're going from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth chain from the bottom. That's another way that you could do it. Either or, just, 3 chains is fewer to count, so hey. So we're going to do into the third chain from the top, as I have been doing, we're going to do another cluster. See, 3 chains or 5 chains. Either way, you're going to get to the same spot. So it's going to be a cluster right in here. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. Then we chain 2. And then we're going to do another treble into this same stitch right here. Sorry. Okay, there we are. So as you can see, the way that it's growing already, and that's just on row 4. Now, easy way to count if you've lost count where you are is just count in the center how many clusters you have. Obviously, we've got 4. You know, easy enough, right? All right, so we'll go on to row 5. Be right back. Row 5. All right, so we're going to start by chaining up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the work. And we're going to start by doing a double crochet into this first stitch here. Okay. And then we're going to chain 4. Then into the chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, a chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay. Then chain 4. And then into our double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet into the top of the stitch, like so. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster, 2 doubles, 1 chain, 2 doubles. Oops. All right, chain 4. All right, we've reached the center once more. And so we're going to do another cluster into the center chain 1 space. So 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. Chain 4. Into the next chain 1 space, do another cluster. Alrighty. Chain 4. And then we're going to do a double crochet into the top of this double crochet stitch. Like so. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space of the next cluster, do another cluster. Okay. And then, let me see here. All right, then we chain 4 again. Let me just check here. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then in the third chain from the top here, so that's 1, 2, and 3, we're going to do another double crochet stitch. You see? Right in there. And then we're going to chain 2. And then do a treble crochet into that same stitch. So as you can see, we're getting there. Most assuredly. It may look a little bit wonky the way I'm holding it, but you know what? Let me do it justice. You see? So it's getting there. All right. So that's the end of row 5, and we shall continue on with row 6. All right, on to row 6. So I'm going to start by chaining up of 7, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the work. And then into this first stitch down in here, we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay, then we chain 4, and then into the top of this double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet. Do you see the repetition going on here? I do. All right, so we did that, double crochet into the double crochet, then we chain 4 again. And then into the chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay, chain 4. And then into this double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet stitch. Chain 4. Okay, into this cluster, the chain 1 of the cluster, we're going to do another cluster. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay, chain 4 again. Into the chain 1 space of the center here, going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay, chain 4. Into the next cluster, chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay, chain 4. And then do a double crochet into the top of this double crochet. All right. Chain 4. Oops. Into the chain 1 space of the next cluster, we're going to do another cluster. So, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. chain 4, and then do a double crochet into the top of this double crochet, like so. Okay, chain 4 again. All right, and then since this is the end, of course, we have to skip to the third chain right here where my thumb is, going in there with a cluster. Oops. There we are, right into that third chain from the side here. So that's 1. Oops. I'm sorry. And that's 2, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochet stitches into that same stitch. And then chain 2, and then a treble crochet into that same stitch. Okay, and that's the end of row 6. All right, row 7. All right, so we're going to start by chaining up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the work. And then into this first space here, we're going to start by doing a double crochet. Okay. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space of the cluster, we're going to do another cluster. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 4, gonna mosey our way along here. All right, and into the top of the next lone double, we're going to do a double crochet stitch. Okay. Chain 4. Into the next chain 1 space of the cluster, we're going to do another cluster. 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Like so. Chain 4. Double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space of the next cluster, we're going to do another cluster. So 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Like so. Chain 4. Okay, we've reached the center again, so into the chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster, so of course 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 4, Into the next chain 1 space of the next cluster, we're going to do another cluster of 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Like so, chain 4. All right, in the top of the double crochet, we're going to make another double crochet. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space, we're going to make another cluster. Okay. Chain 4. Into the top of the double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet. Chain 4. Into the chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. Okay. Chain 4. And then we're going to do a double into the 3rd chain, like so. Chain 2. And then do a treble crochet into that same stitch. And there we are. All right, now as far as the repetition is concerned thus far, something that I found that really helped as I was going along, let me show you, is, okay, so we have going on here, okay, we have a row where there is a cluster, then we have an empty one, then we have a cluster, then we have an empty one, then we have a cluster, and we have an empty one, and so on and so forth. So the thing is that it's an alternate row where on one row you are creating, you know, the space there, and then on the next one you're creating a filling of the space, then you're creating a space, then you're creating a filling of the space, back and forth, back and forth. You know, it's basically an A-B repeat as far as that's concerned. Whether you are, you know, starting off by creating a vacancy or an occupancy, and you're just going back and forth, back and forth. Now, so this, as I said, this is the first 7 rows. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you the repeat, which is rows 8 through 14, and then you can really let loose, because you can do as many of those repeats as you want for the height of your shawl to be. So stay tuned for the next installment of this, you know, short series, and I hope this is, you know, something that you're enjoying and that, you know, you found that it's helpful and all that good stuff. And so if you have any questions, comments, do so in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Your support means oh so very much to me. And please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, because I try to post these videos as often as I can. And if you're following with this, well, then you'll know when the next installment comes out. Okay, so with that being said, I want you guys to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.